In the last episode, we traveled from Langzhou to Xiahe to Hezhuo, before ending up at Gahai Lake. Join us now as we continue our travels in Gannan, starting off in a small town tucked away in a valley that was once unknown to travelers. Lammasu is a small town in Gannan, the southern part of the Gansu province. It's home to the Tibetan ethnic minority and known to travelers as the Switzerland of the East. This is where we'll be continuing our adventures of Gannan. Welcome to Travelogue. I'm Michelle Lean. Lammasu is a great place for independent travelers seeking an escape from the mass tour groups that flock to China's more popular and developed tourist destinations. It's largely unknown to most tourists, but it's not really remote enough to be called off the beaten track. Well, not nowadays anyway. Some years ago, this sleepy town, located 3,300 meters above sea level, was discovered by a group of foreign backpackers. They traveled back home with stories of chancing upon the Switzerland of the East, based on the similarities between the red rock cleft they'd found here and a mountain in Switzerland. And that's how the small town of the Han, Hui, and Tibetan ethnic groups became a stop for backpackers traveling within the Sichuan and Gansu regions. The town's name Lammasu can be a little misleading. Si is Chinese for temple, so you'd assume that you'd be visiting a Langmu temple. Instead, the town has a mosque and 2 Buddhist monasteries, quite a lot for somewhere so small. In fact, it's so small here that there's only one main street in town, so chances are, if you get lost, it won't take long to find your way back. Surrounding the town, you'll find the vast grassland areas of northwestern Sichuan and southern Gansu. There are 2 major cultural influences here: nomadic life and Tibetan Buddhism. In Lammasu town, you'll find 2 of the same monasteries, except that one is located in the Gansu province, where I'm standing, and the other one is right across there in the Sichuan province. The locals refer to their 2 monasteries as the Gansu Monastery and the Sichuan Monastery. Officially, though, the Sichuan Monastery is called the Gerding Monastery, and the Gansu Monastery is the Siji Monastery. Although the 2 are located in the same town and they're just a 5-minute walk away from each other, you'll find a great deal of differences in the architectural styles influenced by their respective provinces. Lammasu is, as far as I know, the only place where you can view a traditional Tibetan sky burial freely without an invitation. Though, be warned, this is not something for the faint-hearted. In Tibetan Buddhism, it's believed that when a person dies, their body becomes an empty vessel. In the high altitude and rocky regions of Tibet, their sky burial is a person's last good deed, a gift to nature and a contribution to the cycle of life. The deceased is left untouched for 3 days while monks chant prayers for his or her soul. After the 3 days, the body is wrapped in a white cloth and taken to the sky burial ground. There, it is dissected into 100 pieces, and juniper incense is lit to invite vultures, known as dakinis, which are the Tibetan equivalent of angels, to feed. It's said that the vultures carry the person's soul to the heavens, and it's a very bad omen if the vultures refuse to feed on or leave any piece untouched, because that symbolizes the bad deeds a person has committed in his life.
是什么？是这边就是我们藏族人举行葬礼的仪式的地方。就把人的尸体从这个道拉到那个地方，然后要大些8块，小些108块，然后为。
Before I arrived in Lammasu, I'd heard of the sky burial ritual, and on an intellectual level, I was able to understand, respect, and even appreciate the customs. It's a very practical form of burial in the rocky and mountainous terrain of Tibet itself and the Tibetan Autonomous Regions, where ground burials and cremations due to the lack of wood would be close to impossible. I think it's a beautiful idea, giving back to the earth by feeding another of nature's creatures, although admittedly, it can be rather morbid too. There's a place in town that arranges hiking and horse riding trips. These last from 1 to 5 days, and you'll be given the chance to experience life as a Tibetan nomad. Unfortunately, we didn't have enough time, but I'll be back soon just for this.
Yes.
Like, how long does it take and stuff?
I have 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, and a special trip for 5 days.
Okay, so where are the routes and stuff? Where does it take
Okay, so on this map, it's only for 1 day. This is the town where we stay, and we're going along the Dragon River to get the first area. We will have lunch here in local people's tent, the nomad tent. Come back the same way. This is for 1 day. And for 2 days from here, we're going along the Dragon River, have lunch here, then go ahead to this place where is summer grassland where the people stay now. So we will stay here with the local families in a nomad people's tent. So for the second morning, first you have time to join the local people's daily work, like milking, making butter, herding, or if you want, you can have a trial by yourself. The guides can help you.
Okay. And then milk the yak.
Yeah, sure. And the next day, from here, we go the Flower Ocean, then go the upway back to Lamuse. And this is a flat and wide grassland with some streams inside. Right. In the summertime, all these places is full of the flowers, wild flowers. Okay, so we give the name to it.
Oh, so you call it the Flower Ocean.
Yeah.
Okay,
this is for 2 days.
Walking around town, you'll find many quaint stores where you can grab a cup of coffee or buy some local souvenirs. But I was told to check out Amdo's Cafe because here you'll be able to see locals making the actual handicrafts. Over the past 8 years, Amdo's Cafe, also known as Amdo's Cafe and Crafts, has been working with the Tibetan nomads to produce and sell woven bags, braided slings, knitted scarves, socks, and felt decorations, all using materials available locally. The money they earn helps to provide for basic needs, such as the children's education. It's their way of helping the Tibetan nomad community help themselves, and a way to teach foreigners about traditional Tibetan handicrafts. Such is the success of Amdo's crafts that the younger generations are starting to learn the traditional skills as a way of preserving their culture and earning a little pocket money on the side. I think it's a really great idea because on the one hand, it gives the woman a side income, a sense of independence and empowerment, and on the other, people from around the world can enjoy these beautiful handmade products. So, everyone wins. Aside from the local handicrafts, you'll find restaurants in town that serve authentic Tibetan cuisine, none of that watered-down for tourists-only stuff. Try the sampa, a staple food of the Tibetan ethnic group. It's not really my thing, but you can't leave without trying it. It'd be like visiting Italy and leaving without sampling the pasta. However, if you tire of eating the same type of cuisine all the time, there's a famous restaurant in town that serves Western food with a local twist.
I'm from Canada, but I'm living in Shanghai right now.
Okay, what do you do in Shanghai?
At an international school.
How did you hear about Lamushi?
I wanted to do a bike trip somewhere in China this summer.
Right.
And I was trying to pick out a place. So this friend of mine recommended Shanghai as being a really unusual, one-of-a-kind place to visit. He'd been there 15 years ago.
Okay. So I was told that if you come to Lamushi, there's one restaurant that you have to try, and it's called Lisha's Restaurant. And the owner who started it basically started as a, Chinese restaurant, but he had a lot of foreigners come here. So he was like, okay, well, why don't you come to my home, cook whatever you like. And he ended up learning how to make apple pie, which is what this place is famous for. So when you come here, you definitely have to try the apple pie. But for now, I'm not sharing, so too bad. Very good.
Lamushi is small, but this is very much part of its appeal to independent travelers. There's a real sense of community here, and even if you're here only for a day, you'll meet fellow travelers and locals willing to show you their culture.
Usually to get into a Tibetan ethnic minority costume, it takes you to do it on your own. It's like taking 3 people to get me into this. Can't breathe.
为什么要这是没有的？它有2个原因。第一个原因就是这边的气候温差的原因。OK， 热的时候就抹掉，然后冷的时候就套上。一个是因为就是这边劳动啊等等要用右手来干活嘛。但是如果你用左手的啦。 左手一般我们干活呀都是先用右手呀，吃饭比如吃饭啊等等的，方便，因为这袖口太大了不方便。
So apparently, the reason why you have it off the shoulder is because when it's cold, you can put both sleeves on, and when it's warm, you can take one off. And the other reason is if you go out in the farm and stuff, it's more convenient if you have your sleeve off, so you can, do some manual labor. Well, I don't really need to do any manual labor, but hey, why not? Let's get good, huh? Not bad? Good? Good? Good. Fine.
哎，在你往里头放东西的是吗？
什么都可以放。Oh, apparently inside here, right here, you can like stick stuff in, so he's got his hat inside right now.
不要了。
不要。It's convenient.
行吧。 OK 吗？像藏族人吗？
哎，像了。What do you reckon? Does he look Tibetan?
他还是有。
After dinner, Baima, a Tibetan girl I'd met earlier in the day, invited me to a local gathering.